Welcome everybody to the second Southernmost Illinois Conference on Criminal Justice. We had 63 people register today, and obviously we don't have 63 people in the room, but they will either come or they won't. It really doesn't matter, because whatever I do and whenever I do it, I say whoever's supposed to be there is what? Going to be there. So if you're here, these messages and what we're talking about is for you. Our theme is restoration and reentry, all right? And with that theme, we talk about being a community and being a village and recognizing that we already know how to help people not go back to prison. It's not particularly rocket science. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And I'm going to talk to you about a passionate project of mine known as the Insignia Group. We'll do some questions and answers, and that'll be it for my session. So in 2009, my husband at the time, Robert Ketchens, and I talked about what was going on in Southern Illinois. And we were having the conversation that at that time, in the current administration, they cut out all the art, all the music, everything in the schools went away. And like, what do we do in response to that? And then the state of Illinois called me and said, hey, you've got people that are struggling with HIV issues. You got people that have high rates of high blood pressure. You got people that have heart disease. Nobody's really doing anything about it. So Robert and I talked, and we prayed and had the collective vision to start legacy training. So that's how our not-for-profit work started. Our vision is to alleviate poverty of the mind, the body, and the spirit. We believe that poverty isn't about money or lack thereof. It's about your mind, and it's about your body, and it's about your spirit. And if those are in line, money does come. Can I get an amen on that one? Our mission is, as I said, to promote health, expand the arts and humanities in underserved communities. I get so tired when I tell people I'm from Alexander, Pulaski County, Illinois. The first thing they say, how poor it is. It's a dying community. It's destitute. I get all of those negative statistics, but I'm here to charge us and say this can be a wonderful place to live. I don't know about you, but I like going to bed at night where I don't hear sirens and bullets. I don't know about you, where I can make X amount of dollars and live very well, as opposed to living in another area where I'm paying $2,000 a month for a 1,200 feet apartment. And I'm exaggerating a little bit. And I love my urban community. In fact, we're going to talk about that too. We all have to love and work together. But for those people that might want a different type of lifestyle, Southern Illinois is a great place to live and to work, or even just come down to play. What do we do? Well, obviously, we do a lot of training. We do a lot of workshops. We do conferences. And boy, am I tired. It's been a busy year. We just did a concert. We do all kinds of things, publications, all about hopefully empowering people, helping people's mind grow, helping people to see possibilities. Where again and when. So we do that by coordinating with various groups, by collaborating, and by developing partnerships. I told you everybody gets a chance to speak. So I would like for you to tell me now your name, where do you call home, if you have a title or some sort of affiliation, and I don't mean gay, and what is your theme song? What is the one theme song that motivates you, inspires you, or describes you? So I'll show you how it's done. My name is Lynne Moena Williams Nelson Chambers Ketchens Chambers. So Lynne Chambers, or Mama Bear, some of you might know me. I call home Southernmost Illinois, but I also call Chicago home because I was born there. I spent a lot of time there, so I call them both. My particular title today is I'm the CEO and the program manager of Legacy Training. And my theme song is a song called Never Would Have Made It by a gospel artist named Marvin Sapp, because I truly have been in many situations where I look back and I never would have made it. All right, so that's how it's done. Who wants to go next?
Wendell Robinson. I call DeKalb home. DeKalb, Illinois, is a lot north from here. My title is Executive Director of Restore Justice Foundation. And I got a theme song out this world. James Brown, boss. That's my
Awesome.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's my theme song.
That's it.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is James Swansea, and my title is Policy Manager at Restore Justice. Good, yeah. New changes. I've just been promoted to Associate Policy Director at Restore Justice. So, you guys are the first to actually hear that.
Say that one more time. I got myself great.
Associate Policy Director. So you guys are hearing that first and foremost. But my theme song is something that I grasped hold to once I came home, and it's a song by Kajon called On the Ocean. Yeah.
All right. Hello, you guys. My name is Dakota Stevens. I'm a participant here at the CDA group. I call Vienna, Illinois home. Let's see here. The theme song. Oh my God, that's going to be horrible. Man, this song stuck with me growing up all through since the time I started stepping on my own, and it's Rockville this morning. It just motivates me to do something every day to keep on board.
I don't really have no theme song.
My name's Al Hicks. I like this mic clip. I'm a industrial maintenance mechanic, trying to get a job in Nova and married. I'm living in Mounds, Illinois, and my theme song is First Day Out with Jingerism.
Thank you.
My name is Katie Hayes. I'm from El Dorado. I am a juvenile justice therapist for the Health Department. I'm also a person in recovery and a sense of time incarcerated 20 years ago. So this kind of like got in the juvenile justice role, helping kids. My theme song would be Michael Jackson, Man and Beer.
Love it. Love it. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Elaine Fellers, and I am the Director of Crisis at Egyptian Health Department. I call home Harrisburg, Illinois, and I've never really thought of a theme song for myself, so I will have to think of it. I have no idea what it would be.
And where could you jot them down and give everybody a playlist?
My name is Aaron Woods. My home is Olmsted, Illinois, right down the street. My title, I'm a research associate. I'm also a professional math tutor. Theme song, probably Sweet Kind of Life. That's probably what mine would be.
I'm Dietrich Williams, and I currently have my CDLs. I call home Mounds. My theme song, I'm about like her. I really don't have a theme song per se, but just give me a sec to think about it.
How's everybody doing? My name's Tyler Lattimore. I call home Cairo, Illinois. My title is I'm affiliated with the Legacy Academy. No, I don't. Never thought about a theme song myself. Yeah, I think you're right. You definitely said all that.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Fisher. I call Grand Chain, Illinois, home for the third time. I've lived other places. I was born in Chicago. It's been on for the past 22 years or so again. My title and affiliation here is I'm on the board of Legacy Training, and my theme song would be Wind Beneath My Wings, because Legacy, the founder of Legacy, and all of her endeavors has been Wind Beneath My Wings. I've learned a lot and grown a lot. I call Illinois home, but our own home is Memphis, Tennessee, and I am a salon owner in Mounds, Illinois, and independent associate with Legal Shields. And I guess the theme song would be I Am a Champion.
Right. Yo, what's up, folks?
Hey.
Yeah. I'm over here because it's close to the bathroom, so I'm an old man now. But my name is Morris Jenkins, but everybody calls me Dr. J. I am the original Dr. J.
I even met that other dude and told him I am the original Dr. J. He didn't like it too much. I'm also in recovery too. To know that I got 27 years of sobriety, so that's something in my life. But I'm also a cancer survivor. Yeah. I'm staying right now in a town called Bolingbrook, Illinois, because I teach at Lewis University in the Department of Justice, Law, and Public Safety. I'm a professor there. I'm the evaluator for the Insignia Project. Yes. And what else? I do a lot of. I'm just a cool dude. Let's put it like that.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Burge, and I am from Chicago, born and raised. My title is what I name myself as a quiltivist, because I'm an activist who quilts, and I use my quilts to tell a story from an African American perspective, especially as a mother and as a woman who lives in this country. My theme song is, I Believe I Can Fly. I also like When Will There Be a Harvest for the World? And both of those songs motivate and inspire me. I'm also motivated and inspired by people who are returning from prison, who are doing incredible work. And so that's really important to me.
Ricky Alfletcher Sr. It's just amazing. Lynne would say it. It's been 3 years. And it's funny how you hear people. And I met Lynne at a party. In fact, I picked her up when they proceeded to ride to a party. We got to talking, and y'all, it's been fantastic. You just don't know what you're looking for, what we head for. It's the biggest thing, where everything is coming to fruition. It's this plan and this, what is that? It's story of this history. It's about to make something out of all of us, and we're all going to be giving back. We're all going to get something out of it. My favorite song is John B. Keith, Lily in the Valley. Okay, my hometown is Akron, but I've been in Augusta for the last 16 years. I'm trying to think. My motivation is what we're doing now. I mean, just this morning that I had the pleasure of Dr. J and Miss Dorothy, the conversation I got was so enlightening. And so, the people that are involved in this want to give back and want to help. And that's one of my motivations. Because I've been feeling very trouble. I had to get up from down here to down here, this thing. Hilarious. But God, we are heading in the right direction. And I just ask everybody having patience. We come this far. Don't stop now. Because what we got coming is going to be good for this area, good for the community, good for people overall. That's good, bad, and in between. But that's the general state of mind right there. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry White, where I currently call home Springfield. I was born and raised in Carroll. Yeah. And I don't have things something. I am working with the CEG project involving trucking, warehousing, logistics, and the concentration is obviously in Blackson County. So we're about to get things rolling.
Do your special talent.
How you doing? I'm Elijah Hamilton. Born and raised in this area. Moved back about 3 years ago. I was gone for about 20 years. It's been like 6 years now in Nashville, Tennessee. And then I moved up to Chicago. My title division, I'm a business owner. I've actually been in the entrepreneur space since 2014. That was the last time I worked a traditional job. My theme song, I'm a music head, so there's a lot of songs that I like. But I guess I'm not even gonna name this song, but it's probably where I'm at right now in my life. But I can't even remember the name of it. Let me see. It motivates me to keep going. Like I'm in a spiritual place in my life right now. I'm extremely blessed, like family, and just a lot of different opportunities that's come my way. So yeah, I think that's pretty much kind of speaks to me. And from where I've come from, you know, this program that we're doing that we're taking in right now, it resonates with me. I've never been to prison, but I have been in trouble with the law. And it has changed my life. Like in 2012, I got in trouble when I was still living in Chicago. And I ended up getting a Class A misdemeanor for shooting on New Year's Eve in the air. Guess what? You know, you can't do that in the city. You do that here in the country, but you can't do that in the city apparently. But either way, went to court for a year, paid a ton of money, legal fees. Ended up getting put on probation for 2 years, which is a good thing. But when I got laid off, I found it hard to get back into the corporate sector because I was a corporate manager. And, you know, looking at that rap sheet that they put on you and the black and white photo, and then they put all them scars, tattoos and stuff, it's a reason kind of paints a bad picture of you. And couldn't find a job for a while. Ended up losing my condo, losing my car, exhausting my 401k, and I just had to kind of start over, which side I got into entrepreneurship. But it's how it tastes in my mouth because it seems like that's what systemic oppression looks like. And ever since then, I've vowed to never be at the mercy of a job again after what that happened with that, because up there, I had a clean slate. I did everything the right way, went to school, graduated, you know, got a job, bought my first home, all that. And then one incident kind of turned my life around. So I do resonate with this situation because I understand like second chances. I have family who didn't want to praise that who did time and friends. And I know how hard it is for them to come out and get a second chance. The whole rehabilitation and corrections contrary, it's not really what it says. It is, but so if anything I can do to assist or just, you know, put in my 2 cents or help, then I'd be more than happy to do that.
And so rather than saying I'm from Arvindale and that's my home, that's where I live. I've been living there for quite a few years, but Metropolis is my home. You know, my ancestors are buried there. And when I think of strong people, notwithstanding all of these in this room, and Lynne Chamber, who I've known for a few years, but I really don't think I know her yet, even though I've known her for 20 years. There's so much to her that, you know, I just have to call her my friend like she does me. So I'm getting a little emotional because it's a hard thing to talk about family in this room where people have been sharing so much about who they are. And today is really touching me a lot. I'm a mother. I have a child that's grown, never has been to jail, but he has a head hard as concrete, but he's doing well. My parents are both deceased, but they told us to be like Fannie Lou Hamer and Frederick Douglass and John Brown when we were growing up. So I try to be an activist. You can probably tell by now, by profession, I've been a teacher. I'm a licensed social worker. I do a lot of volunteer work. I have a big heart, but sometimes you might not know it because, you know, I'm sort of slow to smile and talk, but I do. So if you ever see me and you want to test it out, just walk up to me and say, hey, aren't you Dr. M. Sauls? I saw you down at Shawnee Community College on June 12th of, what is this, 2025. Approach me. I might look like I'm not approachable, but I am very approachable. My favorite song, I have so many favorite songs. I mean, I could be up here for 2 hours or 4 hours talking about my favorite song. But the greatest love of all comes to mind today. And who's next?
I'm Elijah Wyatt. I'm from Carbondale, Illinois. I'm Lynn's granddaughter in the theme song. I say God love.
Everybody's here.
I'm Michelle Green, and my home is Kenner, Missouri, and I'm Lynn's granddaughter. And the song that comes to mind is Don't Chill by Party Next Door.
Hi, I'm Sarah Doby, and I'm the graduate program at SAU School of Social Work, and I kind of watched the origin, so I kind of missed everybody's theme song. The first thing I think of is that song from the Lego movie, Everything is Awesome. Because if you know that song. And what motivates me, inspires me, I don't know. I guess I can see beauty and hope in faces where people don't normally look. So I'll keep on going. Hi, I'm Brianna Austin. I currently call East Cape or McClure home, but I'm born and raised in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And the themes, or my title, I am the executive assistant for Legacy Training and Insignia Group. I love what I do, and I'm able to change lives, see actively the change that we're doing in communities. And my theme song would be Hard Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll. Anyone knows me, I love Jelly Roll. So yeah, thank you all for being here.
My name is Kayla. I call Vienna, Illinois home. My title, I'm a business owner.
Best pizza in Johnson County.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm also a 3-year recovering addict. And the theme song, I'll consider
well, we're going to play some music and pump everybody up, but thank you. Okay, we met everybody now. All right. Thank you. And I wanted to take a little time to do that. I'm not the traditional speaker, or I'm not the traditional really anything. And I truly believe in the concept of we are all family, no matter what our backgrounds are, no matter what our skin color, or ethnicity, or our race, religion, lack thereof. Who do I see that came in? Did I miss you? Who is that? Is that Sandy? Is that Sandy? Y'all know I can't see. Ma'am? Oh, that's Elijah. Sorry. Lord, see, I should have went and got those glasses. So we did get everybody. So I truly do believe that we're family. And it's really important for us to know that we're tackling a big issue. The criminal justice system, even though as a criminal defense attorney, I believe in the system. I've been blessed to help some people. But boy, I also had to cry when I know somebody was pleading to something just to get out, right? I've seen some fairness, and I've seen a lot of inequity in every system that I've worked in, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education. But one thing I know is that we can make a difference, and the power in this room is amazing. All right, next slide. So what I wanted to talk to you about, of course, is, again, my passion, my joy. The reason I'm getting up most days right now is I've temporarily kind of suspended my law practice to full steam ahead with the Insignia Group, which is a workforce development program for returning citizens. We work with a lot of people, right? Again, coordination, collaboration, partnership. You cannot do this work alone, and you'll see some of the people. Higher education and academia. We left, they're at Lewis University. Should have been there. You're not a funder. Maybe that's prophetic, Dr. J. I don't know. Community-based organizations. Big shout out to Caballeros Rentals, who right now is renting us our space. Would you believe it was hard for me to find someone to rent to people coming home from prison? Is that not shocking? So we really appreciate the Caballeros and all of those good people, and especially shout out today for our sponsors is the Illinois Humanities Council, the Envisioning Justice Initiative. Can we give them a big shout out, SNAP, for supporting the conference today? Next slide, please. All right, and again, our mission statement is very much in line with what the Envisioning Justice. Basically, we want to engage in conversation about the impact of mass incarceration in our local communities And they want us to use the arts and humanities to help us to devise some strategies. That's why we had the joy, the privilege, the honor of bringing Ms. Dorothy here and her beautiful work. We'll be looking at that, and she'll be sharing with you the quilts and the stories shortly. 75%, now that's 3 out of 4 people, are still unemployed a year after coming home. I'm happy to say in the Insignia group, we are at what? At least an 80% full employment rate, right? Y'all can go ahead and give some love to that, right? And the only reason, I ain't gonna mention no names, but the only reason we ain't 100% is one of them is holding out for 401k and salary and benefits because he's good at what he does and he knows his value. But pretty soon we're gonna be at 100%. That's huge. We know, back please, Miss Bree. We know that the number one thing to keep people from going back is if there is a lack of stable employment. Now you can go. So once again, we know what works, right? What does work? First of all, individualized case management. Having some sort of plan, which we did it kind of like as a vision board. Risk needs assessment. That's why Mama Bear is always fussing. Get those assessments done, because an assessment is just that. It's figuring out where you are and how you best can get what you need to get back on track. We don't provide these services other than the supportive housing, but for whatever folks might need, whether it's mental health, substance abuse treatment, education, employment, we try to hook them up. And more importantly, as they learn about things, they hook each other up. And so Dakota, I'm going to put you a little on the spot that Dakota has become our recovery warrior. And he has found resources and shared with other folks and has really taken leadership in helping with our recovery support efforts. So thank you again, Dakota, for that. Education and job training. Shawnee Community College offers the GED programs, and we're hoping that those who would want to would take it involved with that. Developing partnership with the employers, providing entrepreneurship or life skill workshops. I have to take a bookmark pause here and mention that Van Eichler is a critical person. If he were here, he would say it's not about me, it's about what? We, all right? He's their coach, he's their mentor, he is just awesome in terms of working with this program. Not with us today because of a family reunion. So, Van, we miss you, but hope you're having a great time. Cognitive behavioral therapy is another best practice that they have found through lots of research really helps people with, again, emotional regulation, conflict resolution, and decision making. So try to talk to people about that and make that available. Housing stability, big thing, which we do include in our program. Here's the other one. It's huge, family and community support. So if there's existing family ties, to try to reunify, to try to make those stronger, or developing community ties. Mental health and substance abuse services. Here's another one, continuous supervision and support. Now, for the Insignia group, as I tell our trainees when they come in, I ain't the police. I ain't trying to police you. You are grown men. We're here to support you. So it's not like it's a halfway house. They get a key. They can come and go as they want. If they have restrictions, it's from their parole agent. It's not necessarily for us. Other than don't tear up my place. Keep it clean and be good to each other. And finally, the best practices for reentry programs include data-driven evaluation. So our research team, again, is Aaron as a research associate, which is a new thing for him that we created for him, being trained by Dr. J over there, and also working with Sarah. So they are helping us figure out what works, what doesn't, and if something is not working, we course correct and then try to do it better. One thing I think that sets the Insignia group differently is we're going to be moving into really, really talking about servant leadership. And I hear a lot of recovery warriors in the room anyway, that you know about recovery and how important it is to stay clean and sober is giving back and helping someone and getting to the point where you can sponsor people. But servant leadership goes beyond that. Servant leadership is about, how do I help make everywhere I go better because I'm there? How do I think service first as a leader? And everybody can be a leader, and everybody in this room is a leader. So we're going to be working a lot with that. We also have restorative justice. Dr. Jay is going to be teaching us all about that tomorrow. He's an expert in that. And again, how do we do that? How do we rebuild the community? Hard stuff. How do you reach out to victims? You know, maybe that's not our part of it, but we're certainly going to be talking about that and thinking about that as a practice to be whole. Our communities in need. This is the sad thing about rural America. And, you know, I'm a big cheerleader for rural America, but of the 102 counties in Illinois, 87 have experienced a population decline. And in our county, Alexander experienced the biggest population decline, listen at this, than any county in the whole United States. Yeah, Wendell, I wouldn't lie to you. So how do you rebuild a community? You've got to have people come, and you've got to have good people come, and you've got to have assets, people that can do things, people that have skills and talents and abilities. What we hope to address in this problem is, number one, we've got to change that paradigm about people going back to prison. I was telling the guys the other day that I know there was some jerk, a CO, although not all COs are jerks, but I'm sure there's at least one that told you when you left that I'll see you again, right? That's what they do. Well, the devil is a lie, and he was too, or she. Because we know, again, what it's going to take. And we're the community that's going to help. Nobody is going back to prison under my watch. Now, what are some of the other problems in our community? Well, I'm glad you asked, James. Not only are we dealing with depopulation, but we can't find anybody to do hardly anything, right? That we don't have a workforce, especially skilled tradesmen. And there's a lack of personnel in the number one growing industry, which is trucking and supply chain. Shout out to Diedrich, by the way, who has a CDL, who CEG has used, and hopefully it's going to be working with that. So shout out to you, Diedrich. What, again, in a nutshell, is what we hope for the people in our program is economic self-sufficiency. Not only will you survive, but you can thrive, where you can have a good life for you, your children, because when you rise, I rise, right? When you sink, I sink. So we're all going to be working together to make sure, as much as possible, these are the pathways that we thought about: relationships with the building trades, trucking, the creative economy, arts. In fact, Dakota's also kind of helping with that because we're going to be putting a mural on our building. Green jobs are big. In a little bit, you're going to hear from Ricky Hamilton, who I believe was behind the wall for 25 years, and now he's doing a lot of work with the green economy. And finally, entrepreneurship. If nobody won't hire you, then you can start your own business. That's why I've been self-employed for many years, because I am really unemployable. I'm just too bossy. I ain't going to be there at 8 o'clock. So, you know, to thine own self be true, right? And I like the fact that if I want to take my mom to the doctor, or if my daughter has something to do at school, I have the freedom to do that. Now, I work 24/7, but entrepreneurship is really a wonderful path. All right, so here we go. Look up there and you'll see a word that says ideal. So when we first developed this program, we looked at the research and we said the type of individual, the man that's going to have the best results from this program is likely to be someone that did something when they were incarcerated. What do you think I mean by steady course of rehabilitation while incarcerated? What do I mean by that?
Continuing education.
Continuing education, right? Even though depending on whatever facility you're in, some facilities don't have a lot, right? But most of them at least will have GED, Most of them will have NA, something like that, right? So there's a difference with the type of individual that doesn't make good use of his time. Then we have to be more concerned because we've got to start from a little bit farther back. That makes sense? The other thing is, now look, my sisters in the room, I want you to know I love women. The only thing I love more than women are men. But we realize as we studied, it is a very, very dramatic difference in running a women's program. You're going to say amen to this one, as it is for guys. And it's a whole different animal to try to do them together. So again, because we thought about our community, because we do already have a lot of women here, we're like, okay, why don't we try to work with men this time, right? So that's all due respect to my sisters. That's why we're working with men. We have a collaborator in Carbondale, the Behind the Walls program. How many of y'all know about our program? Anybody? Y'all can raise your hands now, help me out here. There's a few. So Q is doing wonderful work with formerly incarcerated women. So if you do know people, we'll talk to you about referring. Nonviolent offenders, non-sex offenders, ages 30 to 50, willing to try a rural environment, and if they already have existing positive family ties to the community. So those are the characteristics of the type of guy that we know would probably do wonderful in this program. Doesn't mean that everybody we picked is in that category. But again, this is the ideal not only for our program, but that's the ideal of what a reentry program is kind of built upon. All right, Jerry, I may get you to help me a little bit with this trucking piece, because I wasn't really thinking about the trucking thing until I met Jerry. Jerry and I have actually been working together on this project for about 3 years as well. He was actually one of the first people that I started talking to about the Insignia Project, and he was the one to encourage us to go on. Because, boy, talk about doors, right? Doors being shut, doors I had to kick open. Look at this number. 8,000 to 9,000 trucks are going to be passing by Truckers Paradise every month. 8,000 to 9,000. I only need about 30 or 40 of them to stop by Walker's Paradise so we could get cha-ching-ching paid, right? The other thing that's going on in Carroll, how many of you heard about the Port Project? Right? So there's going to be a lot of traffic there. So Jerry, as one of our partners, is developing a trucking and a warehousing business as well. Anything you want to share about that, Jerry? Ricky?
Just a perspective. You got 8,000 to 9,000 trucks, 100 trucks a month. Just watch that. You got $20,000. Okay, that's just watch it. That's only 100 trucks out of 8,000 to 9,000. Do the math.
Thank you for that. Next slide, please. So we have this concept for sustainability. Those of you that know about funding, and I know I'm going to big amen here. If you're an executive director or CEO of a not-for-profit, we are always trying to make it rain. Writing grants, holding fundraisers. We may need to sell some fish dinners, Brother Elijah. Whatever it takes. And now, I don't know if anybody's watched the news, but the funding is really shaky on the federal level, which is going to impact the state level. And our program is funded federally. So I'm like, we've got to come up with something because we are not going to let the Insignia Group go away because we don't have money. So we developed this as our sustainability plan. The value added with what we're going to do, and again, we're about innovation. We're not about doing things that everybody else is doing. We're about innovation, is to include a wellness center. Because remember, legacy promotes health, right? So while they're getting their car washed and detailed and all of those good things, they'll have an opportunity to be in a world-class lounge with one of those massage chairs, aromatherapy, and stress reduction, and a jogging trail, and a fitness room, and right down the street is a clinic so they can get their checkups. Big Al's going to have a really nice garden so they can go get some fresh fruits and vegetables. All right, so And if you saw where we're going to put it, y'all would laugh at me. Shawnee would be like, Miss Lynne, I think she done finally tipped on over. Maybe we need to go and call somebody. She done did something too much. But I see it. Just like I see you, I see this. Next slide. All right. Jerry, tell them about warehousing and logistics training that's coming down the pipe. I'll bring you the mic.
What we really envision is a 24/7 operation. Something where the area have lights on all the time and people working 3 shifts. I mean, there's big 3 shifts available for people to be working. And hopefully it increase the population, create the families to come in, and schools will get back to heavily populated. So we got plan in place for training because I know the area is not logistic experienced, but we will do the training and provide benefits, the jobs, and try to make the 24/7 operation.
Thank you. And we also need to celebrate. I got to get my little prop down here, but you've purchased your first 18-wheeler. 2 of them, 2 18-wheelers that he's purchased. And you'll be looking for somebody with a CDL to drive. And we got Derek back there. The building trades, we have relationships with the unions. So men that are coming home, if that's the route they'd want to go, as long as they have a GED and they can pass a drug test, we can help them get within all of those different unions and also plug into apprenticeship training programs. Ricky's going to tell you a lot more about CEJA, but it's basically the green economy. So Truckers Paradise will be solar powered and will also have EV charging stations. Illinois is very, very green in terms of the climate economy. So we're investigating lots of opportunities where people can learn solar installation is another way to have a good paying job. In fact, they're building a solar field right over like 10 minutes from here. Dakota, isn't that right over heading that way? Big solar field. Those folks are making at least $30, $40, $50 an hour. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to run over and see if they're hiring on the way. Maybe I can do a little of that. All right. This is the other thing. Now, y'all tell me how you feel about this. I used to cringe, but maybe it isn't bad when you hear jailhouse lawyer, because I have met some of the most amazing legal minds talking to my brothers and sisters in prison. The law is a lot of time and reading and understanding case law and blah, 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 blah. And I tell you what, there's a huge lack of paralegals everywhere in the United States. So paralegals and court reporters, if you want a job and you're trained, you can get one like that. And entrepreneurship. Again, art is a lot of what we do and why we do it, but learning how you can actually make a living as an artist. Murals. How many of you seen murals in your town? Anybody seen any murals? There you go. And they make big money for doing them, right? Beautify the community as well as making money. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. J. He's going to tell us a little bit about what we've learned so far with the Insignia Group, what we did right, what we did wrong, and what we're finding so far.
We started off with Lynne's dream, and we made sure that she stayed basically true to the dream. However, you had to do some modifications. And those modifications, some came out good, others came out not so good. But that's important. That's very, very important because that's the way we learn. One thing about this whole project, and I hope that you're getting the gist of it, when you're talking about any sort of program, there's an intersection between different types of occupations and educations and disciplines. This is being brought here. So you got trucking, you got art, you got paralegal. They're moving in that direction. Some of the stuff came about because of the information I got from the folks who started this whole project. They gave me foundation. So some of the things that happened in process evaluation, we knew that there has to be some sort of quote-unquote community ties. That was very, very important. We found out the ages are very, very important. Because if you're 18 years old, you gotta be honest, 18-year-old males have like nothing. But when you're 30, and the data shows this. The recidivism rate starts going down at age 28. And so after that, it goes down, and you have more constructive way of dealing with things. And also, we found that you have to have strong family ties. And it has to be not negative family ties. It has to be very, very positive family ties. Those are some of the things that we found out through the process. After that, and what we're doing now, Aaron's doing a good job with that. Thank you, Aaron. After the first time meeting, and two, we was always on Zoom. So you look pretty good in person, man. But we're doing the substantive evaluation. Are we doing what we're supposed to do? What are some of the outcomes? We're finding that you're keeping employment, you're keeping housing. But I want to talk, and I'll talk a little bit about this tomorrow. There's another thing that's important whenever we discuss whether or not somebody's going to be successful. And I'm not talking solely about reentering individuals. This is for all of us. We have to be culturally specific. We're finding that out. What I mean by culturally specific, you have to know a little bit about yourself and how you fit in society. And that is occurring now. And that is kind of leaning in that direction. I got a paper I want you to see, and you get it. It's called the Afrocentric Theory of Restorative Justice. I want all of y'all to take it. Don't look at it as simply African American. This is something, a theory that we're using in this project where a lot of folks use this as their foundation, use this about how we look at the world. No, maybe a lot of black folks are not Afrocentric, i.e. Clarence Thomas. So, and there are white folks who are Afrocentric. There are Latinos who are Afrocentric. I want you to look at the system. There's a chart in the back. That is something that we all need in order to really make it in society. And you build your culture by using what we call restorative justice. Because restorative justice is a thing that comes about, or a process that comes about in many forms. We'll get into that later. Well, that's occurring as we speak. So you folks that I've talked to yet, or if Aaron hasn't talked to you, you will be getting a call from us to find out your perspectives about what's going on. And I really need you to be honest. You got to be honest. And so far, the staff has been honest. Lynn has been honest. Bree has really, really, really been honest. And so we need that in order to really see what you're doing. It's not just for you. I want you to think about, you're going to come out good. All of y'all going to do well. But we got some generation folks behind us. This is what you're doing. You're setting it up for these young folks that are coming up behind us. And by doing that, we got to be successful. We got to know what's going on good and what's going on bad. So overall, if I had to give it a grade, I'm a college professor, I got to give it a grade now. Overall, the grade has been, they haven't gotten it yet, 88.9 out of 100, which is great. And so keep it up. And be looking for a call from me, or Aaron, or Sarah, or some of my students down the booth. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next year to ensure that there is some sustainability. So that's what the evaluation has done so far, and we'll be continuing on. And the evaluation is not a one-and-done deal. We're going to be doing it over and over again. You'll hear a little bit about us asking you what our strengths of the program, what our weaknesses, and this one's very, very important. Keep your mind open. What are the opportunities and what are the threats? Lynn was talking about that 10-acre place out there. And it may be messed up right now, but that's an opportunity. We got to have discussions about that, and also the threats. So be looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to talking to everybody in here and talking to you around. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, Lynn.
Elijah has a question.
My first question is, so with Constructive Paradise, I understand that's like a sustainability plan to kind of compensate, while you're looking for funding.
Exactly.
With the port project coming and the solar plant coming to Illinois. Is that or has that hindered any chances to get funded or make it a little bit more difficult because that's where a lot of the sources are going to? Resources?
That's a great question. So if I'm understanding your question, you said, has the solar plant or the Port Authority impacted funding? And no, it has not. In fact, I believe that our funder for this project is the Delta Regional Authority. Oh, and another piece of housekeeping. If you're on your cell phones, would you mind turning them off so we can all be present and included? So no, Elijah, it's a different pool of money, and Truckers Paradise is going to be strictly a for-profit entity. But the difference is the profits won't go to line somebody. Like if you have a business, your profits after you pay your bills go to support your family. After we pay our bills, those profits will go to support the Insignia Group Academy.
My other question was, what type of incentives would we have to get trucks to stop, like with the Port Authority? Like I've heard about it, but I'm not too familiar with it. Like, anytime you see a truck, trucks, they ask them to stop this to refuel, which, it's ironic that we don't have any type of fueling stations, it's only got between, let's say, Anna and Carroll. You got Gongola, that one little spot.
There's gas outlet as well now.
Yeah. And outside in the Cutmore, I think in Mount City. That's it.
Yes. And
right?
Trucks can't navigate those two spaces.
Right. So that's the biggest incentive to get trucks to stop, right? Well,
no, I don't think it's the biggest. But let me just, because you're asking several questions. So first of all, if you turn around and look at Jerry White is an expert. If y'all have any questions about the Port Authority, he's gone to every meeting since the very beginning. So he can tell you all about that. Now, the proposition of adding gas, Jerry and I have kind of gone back and forth about it. I'm not opposed to that. But I think for what we're doing, number one, my concern are the trainees, getting them immediate jobs, getting some immediate revenue. Gas is an expensive endeavor. There's going to have to be some work done to make sure it's EPA together. So I'm not saying we won't, but I firmly believe that if it's marketed correctly, which it will, billboards, flyers. But the biggest thing with any industry is word of mouth. And if I hear from Miss Kayla that something is good, I don't care about flyers. I'm going to go because I trust her. So we're going to have truckers that are ambassadors for us. We're going to make sure it's such a wonderful experience for them to come. They're going to sell it, and it's going to grow. Ricky has a comment. Jerry, did you have a response?
In respect to what you asked, and I'll give you an example. I've been where I'm at 5 years.
You can give him the mic, Elijah.
I've been where I'm at 5 years. I never advertise. I haven't done any advertising. I've got companies down and up to want me to pay them to advertising. Everything I've done, if you look at, because I've been doing detail now 30 plus years, but the good side and the good side is the guys that come to me, I've had them come as far as Kansas City for me to do their trucks. If you do a good job, you ain't got no problem. Word of mouth will bring you trucks. And like I said before, 100 trucks a month will bring you $20,000. And that's just washing. That ain't vacuum. That ain't waxing. That's just washing. So we don't have, as long as you're doing a good job, you got to worry about truckers coming in. Like you said, we have a gamut of truckers, but Jerry and people that, the networking alone will bring you. Right. And that's why I'm pretty, once we get things in place, we won't have no problem. Even to the point of advertising. We might have people come to us and say, well, would you advertise? Would you let us advertise for you for free in order for them to get publicity? Because everybody needs, it's like a networking thing. You got it. It's an ongoing thing. It's like a snowball. My biggest problem is, because that's my problem now back in Augusta, I just had to fire 2 people because they want to work, but they want the money, but they don't want to work. I don't need that. And if you look, you can look on the reviews. Fletcher and Sons is rated 4.5. And that's been over the 5 years. I mean, I got my stragglers. Well, I didn't like the way they did that. I didn't like you're going to get that. But you're going to get people, you're going to get haters anyway. And once people see progress is going, they want to throw their little monkey wrench in there to disrupt you from what you're doing. And for what we're doing with people coming out of incarceration and moving ahead, you're going to get that because they want to try to slow you down and throw a monkey wrench in everything you're doing because it's great. Anything you give back and it's going to help the community, you go for it.
Thank you. Jared, did you have anything to add about the Port Authority? And then I want to introduce our new arrivals.
Current status on the port is they're working on towards phase 2, which is the permitting. So once they get the permitting started, approved, that's when the shovels will be to the ground. So hopefully, looking at maybe next spring, hopefully, if everything goes good. And that's when I do believe corporate America will be coming down.
And port authorities, are not unique. Well, let me say it like this. There are many port authorities. New Orleans is a port. Wherever there's a river, it's basically barges bring things up the river, especially if they're bringing them internationally. They'll stop in Cairo. Trucks will pull up, load those barges, and then those trucks will get back on the highway and take goods throughout the country. So that is the thing. The port is going to be, again, what we make it. It may not be the economic end all, but it cannot help but be a boost for our area. But we don't have the workforce. We just don't. People have always been upset about things that come to our area, and we don't have people that are prepared to work the jobs. So again, that's why we're trying to do and bring our brothers from Chicago. And I'm referencing Chicago because many of the people in the Department of Corrections that are in custody, a lot of them have Cook County zip codes. Can we agree with that? So let's give them a 618 area code instead of 312-773. And let's give them a different lifestyle and let them help us rebuild.